go.
And that's followed by Charlie Ramirez, followed by Christina Rogers.
So first of all, thank you for allowing me to speak today.
Thank you, being here.
I want to preface this, because it comes at the end, but I want to preface this by saying this is to help these people. This is not to stigmatize them, okay? So I want everyone to hear that before I start talking, because I know what I'm going to say might be a little unpopular in this room from some parties. The issue that you call homelessness is the actual issue. The issue is misnamed. The issue we have is drugs. Conservative estimates put the number of people on the streets at 66% drug addicted. Most put it at 75. But last week, a member of the HOT team that I spoke with said 9 out of 10 people he encounters on a daily basis, that's all he does, are addicted to drugs. Do you know that in the year 2022 in the United States of America, the National Institute of Health is predicting that we are going to have 100,000 people die of fentanyl overdose. You may ask why I'm talking about drugs and not the county ordinance. The reason is that drug addicts need help. They don't need a tiny home. They don't need to be left in the gutter with a needle in their arm because of the Boise ruling. That help needs to come involuntarily. They do not have the cognitive ability to make decisions for themselves. Letting them live in our gutters only ensures one thing: eventual overdose. An often used statistic regarding people living on the streets includes families. Using the HUD numbers from the federal government, and while this is a large number and it should be a lot smaller, only 9% of people living on the streets included children and families. So 91% did not. From 2005 to 2020, people living on the streets nationwide decreased 26%, while in California we saw an increase of 31%. It must be because we have a temperate climate. Nope. Same time period, people living on the streets in Atlanta decreased 43%, in Miami 32%. So why must this be? Because in this state we tolerate, pay, and invite people to live on our streets using the Boise ruling as a shield. I work for a company that employs roughly 580 people in Sacramento County. Just in July, we had 52 alarm calls. We had a fire on the bank of a creek adjacent to our Arcade Creek, adjacent to our property, where an encampment went up in flames and caused approximately $80,000 in damage to our facility and various property. 1 week later, the encampment's back. Called the authorities, can't do anything. So I guess my question is, are we supposed to wait for another fire? We encounter on a nightly basis needles and tinfoil littering the grounds of our properties. The RV situation continues to plague our communities, with trash and human fluids permeating the streets and domestic squabbles terrifying people who work and live in those areas. It would seem to me that safety would be the first goal of any governmental agency. When people living on the streets addicted to fentanyl and meth congregate around businesses and neighborhoods, the people who work and live in these places live in terror. Terror because of the unpredictability of the person addicted to the killer, fentanyl, which is going to kill 100,000 people in the United States of America this year. When I look at this drug epidemic, I wonder myself, what is the end game of the elected official? What is the long-term goal of letting people live in the gutter with needles in their arms? Why can't we get these people help? I don't advocate, this is where it comes in, I don't advocate stigmatizing them, I advocate helping them. The most maddening aspect about this entire drug epidemic in this small community of Sacramento is the fact that the city and county are constantly finger pointing. Folks, listen carefully. This is not about you. This is not about the elected official. This is about the constituents of Sacramento County. Stop arguing. Stop the focus groups. Stop wasting time. Compromise. Make a decision and get these people help. If you want the solution, though, This is really crucial.
Yeah,
You need to know.
conclude.
If you want the solution, you need to trade the word homeless for drugs. Then and only then will you have the understanding and the ability to make a change. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Matt. Charlie Ramirez, followed by Christina Rogers, followed by Dan Adderholt.